Hey everybody. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how Chat-GPT generated code that introduced a devastating memory leak into my production application. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say. LLMs are so great, they're so smart, they're going to completely replace programmers in the near future. The NVIDIA CEO said the programming language of the future is going to be English. I mean, all these absolute wild claims about AI. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is great. It is helped me achieve things in programming that I've never thought I'd be able to, especially with the increase in bandwidth that AI allows me to achieve. But with your most critical code in your application, there still are times where you need to be sure that you understand what code you are receiving from that AI to make sure that it is still correct. Because again, it is not 100% accurate on a lot of different things. In today's video, you're going to see an instance of that. So what we're going to do is go over how I identified a memory leak in our application, how I debugged it, and then we're going to go over how I fixed it. So let's go ahead and dive in. But before we do that, I want to real quickly talk about who I am. My name is Ryan Lesson, and I run a software consulting firm called Protocoding. Protocoding. Now, who are we? We are a team of developers and designers that have been in the industry for several years and all have expertise in many different fields. Now, what we do is we help out large companies, small companies, and really have niched in that kind of startup sphere where we're helping companies go from zero to hero with their application. And we're really taking that MVP, supporting that launch and then even supporting that post MVP launch. So if you have an idea and you want to see it become a tangible reality, please reach out to Protocoding at protocoding.com. We'll be happy to provide you a free estimate. Okay, so with that being said, let's dive in. So first thing I want to pull up is our memory utilization graph. So this is our server here, and this is a snapshot I took of our memory utilization graph during some of the peak memory overloads that we were getting. Heap out of memory we were getting here. So as you can see, we're almost getting a linear increase of memory utilization. What really is happening is nothing is being freed up to be garbage collected. So when I initially saw this, I really kind of took the naive approach of thinking that maybe if we just increase our memory that our container has, this could be good, and then we really wouldn't have to worry about it because our application did grow quite a lot in size, and we were getting good traffic to our application. We were getting a couple thousand users a week. So with that done, I hoped it would fix it, but it really didn't. We were getting the same type of almost linear increase in memory utilization. So the worst news has happened. There is a memory leak. So how do we debug this? So first thing I did was I created a process that essentially heap dumps a snapshot of the heap at any time. So all you do is have to create this process that when you kill the application, it dumps the heap into a persistent file. So that is what I did there. And then once we had that persistent file, all I had to do was SSH and secure copy that file into my local. And then once that file is in my local, all I do is upload it into Google Inspect. So let's go ahead and take a look at that Google Inspect with that memory snapshot and see what's going on here. So as you can see here, here is the heap dump, and here is the biggest culprit here. As you can see, the shallow size, well, let me close this real quick and we'll go back into it in 1 second. As you can see, the shallow size is the size of it when it's created, and look at this retained size. I mean, if you add up this context and object, we're over 100% of the memory. And as you kind of saw before, what is causing it? Saga middleware. And if we look in this object too, we see Redux Saga multicast. So what is Redux Saga? So Redux Saga is middleware that you could use in Redux for initiating side effects. Essentially, it helps with API requests, or it helps with doing many other things that you want to go forward as a side effect, and helps you get whatever output comes from that side effect into your Redux store. Okay, so we know where to look. But is this on the front end or is this on the back end? We are server-side rendering this application. And with server-side rendering this application, we do generate that initial Redux state, and then we send it in our initial HTML bundle to the client. So with that being said, we know where to look. We know we're looking on the server side, and we know we have to look through our Redux and Redux Saga code to find it. So our application is quite large at this time, so this did take quite a bit to find. We really kind of played around and laid several mousetraps to figure out what was going on until finally it hit us. We found exactly what's going on. So I'm going to pull up right now the offending code. Oh, let me grab it real quick. So take a look at this here. And pause the video if you must, but see if you could find where is the line of code that's causing this memory leak. Okay, did you find it? Well, let's go over it right now. On line 6, as you can see, when we're creating our Saga middleware, this is the offender. This is what's causing everything to go wrong with our application's memory utilization. It is creating devastating effects. I know it looks inconspicuous, but let's kind of go over how this is happening. So, if you don't know how Node runs, Node is single-threaded. Being single-threaded, this is essentially a global variable that every instance that calls Node is utilizing. So every request that comes to our server is going to be using the same Saga middleware here. And what is happening is this Saga middleware retains information from the previous store, that whatever request has called it. So for each request that comes in, we are essentially adding on and adding on to this Saga middleware when we are creating this store. Now, as you can see, if you keep doing that over and over and over unchecked, you're going to run out of memory. So there it is, Eureka, we found it. And as I could tell, this is code that we use to just create the store and then essentially send it down on the server side to the client. And a lot of this code for us was AI generated, because again, a lot of this is boilerplate. A lot of times it's just you kind of copy and paste and don't really think about it because you're really just setting things up here. But this is such a devastating memory leak and took quite a bit of time to find that anytime you're saving, again, in the near time by generating this, you will lose tenfold if something like this arises. So how do you fix this? Well, it's quite simple actually. All you have to do is remove that and paste it inside this function. Now in every single request, a new variable called Saga middleware is created and is not utilized over and over again, kind of as a global variable here. Wow, that's incredible. It is one line of code that had to be moved around. Now, we went ahead and did this and then deployed it, and we waited a few days, and now what happened? Boom, an absolute flat line. Incredible. So, again, I'm going to leave you with some parting words here. You please understand what's coming back from the AI. A lot of new developers are just getting the output they want from AI. And once they have the output they want, they're just putting in their application, and they're not understanding that things like this can happen. So please, please be sure you know what's coming back from using AI. It's a very powerful tool, but again, it still needs to be used correctly to avoid issues like these. And once again, my name is Ryan Lesson. Protocoding is our software consulting company. If you have any idea of an application you want to build, you need more bandwidth on your development team, please reach out to us at protocoding.com. We'd be happy to provide you a free estimate. All right, that's it for now, guys. Take care.